right, so we're talking about time measurement today, talking about elapsed time, how much time happens in between. This question says Sam's soccer practice starts 20 minutes after the time shown on the analog clock below. At what time does Sam's soccer practice begin? Well, this is a story problem, right? So we're going to use some of our strategies. It says Sam's soccer practice starts 20 minutes after the time shown on the analog clock below. So that's our stop point, right? So that's telling us 20 minutes after. And if we're talking 20 minutes after, that means we're going back, we're going ahead in time. Okay, so right now it's a certain time, and then in 20 minutes after this time, it's going to be further ahead in time. So the question is, what time does Sam's soccer practice begin? Okay, so next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out what time it says on the clock, because it doesn't tell us what time the clock says. So in telling time on the analog clock, this should be a review for you, but one tip, if I don't know if your teachers have done this with you before, but this is what I like to do, is to take that hour hand, because it moves very, very slowly as we get towards the next hour, and it moves slowly towards that next number. So sometimes it's kind of hard to see what the actual hour is. So I'm going to just kind of draw that out a little bit, and I can see that I'm between the 4 and the 5, but I'm not at the 5 yet. So since I'm not at the 5, means I'm still in the 4 o'clock hour. Okay, so the 4 o'clock hour, that's going to be my starting hour, and then when the minute hand is on the 10, I know that I'm going to count this by 5s, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's going to be 4:50. That's the time shown on the clock. That's what we needed to know before we can figure out 20 minutes after that time. So now we're sitting here at 4:50. So I'm just going to start from here where the 10 is, and I'm going to count 20 minutes ahead. So I'm going to keep going. 5, 10. What happens here at 10 minutes? That's where the new hour starts, right? So this actually starts a new hour, turns over that hour to 5 o'clock. And then we were at 10 here, 10 minutes, 15, and 20. So that's going to be my 20 minutes. And it is on the 2. So 2 for the minute hand would be 10 minutes. It would be 5, 10 minutes. So that is one way to do it with a clock. What I like to do, let's see, I'm going to go back. We already know that our start time is 4:20. Nope, sorry. Nope, not 4:20, 4:50. And I like to make an open number line. That to me is like to me it's the best strategy to use. So you're going to have a number line. Just draw your line. You can put the arrows on it or not. It really doesn't matter. But when you know your beginning time and you're looking for an ending time of when something's going to start, and you know the beginning time, you're going to put the beginning time there at the beginning of your number line. So right there, that's representing 4:50. Okay? Then I'm going to take jumps on my number line to get 20 minutes in. So an easy thing to do, especially if this one is easy because it ends in a 0 or a 5. So it's on that, it's in that number system that we're using, because time ends in, it easily ends in 0 and 5, thinking about our compatible numbers. But we're going to jump, I'm going to do it with 5-minute increments or intervals. So I'm going to do 5 minutes here, and that's going to be 4:50. 5:55, and I'm going to put that that's 5 minutes. And then I'll do another 5 minutes, and that's going to be that's going to put me at 5 o'clock. All right, then I'm going to go another 5 minutes, and that's going to be 5:55. Shoot, sorry. It's going to be 5:55. That's going to be 5:05. And then 5 more minutes would be 5:10. Okay, so here's my minutes that I used, the 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So there I went 20 minutes ahead on the clock. Okay, so let's look at a little bit different problem. Okay, so this one says Sam's dance class starts 15 minutes before the time shown on the analog clock below. At what time does Sam's dance class begin? Okay, so this one's a little bit different, isn't it? So, but once again, they've given us a clock, but they haven't told us what time's on the clock. So we're having to use a little bit of our prior knowledge and figuring out what the time is on the clock. So once again, I'm going to take my hour hand and just kind of draw it out. And I see that the hour hand is between the 4 and the 5. It's not to the 5 yet, so the hour is going to be 4. So it's 4. And then we have 5, 10, 15 minutes on my clock. So right now the current time is 4:15. Now, what it's asking me, let's do our little stop sign there. What's it asking? Sam's dance class starts 15 minutes before the time shown on the analog clock below. Okay, so it's giving us a time and we want to go before. So that means we're going to go backwards in time. Okay, so to do that with our clock here, we're just going to start at our minute hand and we're going to jump back 5, 10, 15, and that puts us at 0 minutes, and we did not go backwards an hour. We stopped right at the 12, or I like to call it the o'clock when I'm talking about the hour. Or the minutes, I'm sorry, when I'm talking about like the minute side of it. So that's going to be 4 o'clock. So her dance class starts at 4 o'clock. Let's look at how that would look on an open number line. I'm going to do it up here so maybe y'all have more room to write. All right, so there's my number line. Now, this time, because we're looking at the time before the time shown on the clock, we're going backwards in time. So the time, I'm going to put it at the end of my number line. Okay, because that's the end. That's my ending time that I'm dealing with. So I'm going to put 4:15 right here at the end of the number line. All right. Then I'm going to go backwards in time. I'm going to use the same strategy. I can use 5 minutes. I can use 10 minutes. I can use bigger chunks of time if I want to. If I wanted to take the whole 15 minutes, if I could do that in my head, I could. Right now, I'm just going to do it with you with just the 5-minute intervals. So I'm going to go back 5 minutes, back another 5 minutes, and another 5 minutes, okay? So there's my 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes backwards, right? And you can put little arrows so you can see that you are, in fact, going backwards. Now, I did not keep up with writing the times there, did I? And that's okay. You can do it that way. You can keep up with it as you're going, or you can count it after you've already figured out what the how many, and when you've gone back that amount of time that you needed to. So when I was going back starting at 4:15. So 4:15 minus 5 minutes would be 4:10. 4:10 minus 5 minutes would be 4:05. 4:05 minus 5 minutes would be 4 o'clock. So Sam's dance class is going to start at 4 o'clock. Okay. So now, let me change to my pointer here. All right, so you have some, if you go into the platform and click on the concept unit for measurement, I have shared my plans with you. You're going to click on the plans, and then that way you'll be able to see the different slide decks, like I used this one today. Plus, and I have checked off the actual assignments I want you to do to practice with this with. First one is clocks or number lines, and clocks are just like number lines. That's why we can do the open number line. So this, the beginning of this particular assignment says Rocky left her house at 3:20 p.m. to go to the shopping mall. If she shopped for 2 hours and 15 minutes, what time did she finish shopping at the mall? So you're going to, you can use the clocks if you want to, or you can just use the number line. They've got what they've done is they've taken that clock, and it's kind of like they've like split it at 12, and they just kind of like opened it up. So you can use it that way, or you can do the open number line like I showed you. So she left her house at 3:20. If she shopped 2 hours and 15 minutes, what time did she finish shopping? Are we going forward in time or backward in time? We're going forward in time because we know our start time, and we're looking for our ending time. The next assignment is it's using the open number line. Just like I showed you, it has given you some boxes. You don't have to stay within those boxes if you want to. If there are different intervals that you want to use, you can do that. So he wants to be at the restaurant 10 minutes early. The family's dinner starts at 6:45. It takes him 3 hours and 30 minutes to drive from his home to the restaurant. Determine the times and time intervals that may best represent Zake's thinking. So you're going to have to figure out what time he's going to need. That's a long way to the restaurant, isn't it? 3 hours and 30 minutes to drive from his home to the restaurant. So he's going to have to figure out, you're going to start at what time the dinner starts. Plus, he wants to be there 10 minutes early. So you want to take into consideration that 10 minutes early into that'll account for 10 minutes of his time as well. Okay, so look, there's 2 questions there. At what time should Zake leave home to be at the restaurant 10 minutes before dinner starts? And at what time will Zake arrive at the restaurant? So those are the 2 assignments for this introduction. I will workshop with anybody if you need it. Just give me send me an email, and we'll set up a time to get together and look at this. Have fun telling time, guys.